All right, so here we go. Welcome to the Northeast Caring Force Rally and Legislative Breakfast. This is half rally and then half legislative breakfast. My name is David Brown, and I'm the VP of Communication and Development at VinFen. I've been there for 2 months, very long time. Although for most of my career, I was a meteorologist on Channel 5. I know, Ernest, I know. Can you believe that? Yes. Well, maybe, a long time ago. So I left TV 11 years ago to work in the health and human service sector, and I am so happy to be part of the Caring Force. It's a whole lot better than forecasting blizzards and northeasters and having people call you up on the telephone and say, "Why are you always wrong? You suck." Now, but I'm right today. So as part of the Caring Force, I just want to let you guys know. Stay with me, stay with me. This is legit. Just like Clark Kent. There you go. Bye, Jack. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next year. So here's what I want you all to do for the camera. I want this side of the room to say caring, and this side of the room to say force. We'll do it like this. Caring force. Okay, that's pretty good. Centerboard. I need you guys, I need your help in the back. Okay, seriously, you guys are the force people. You see what I'm saying? Okay, you guys are the caring people. You are. I know you are. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? I can't get the shirt totally off. That's why I'm just kind of holding it like this. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Caring. Louder. Louder. That's a rally. All right. Nice job. Now, we're so happy that you're here today. This is the first of 4 rallies. So we're setting the stage high here. The first of 4 rallies, all to culminate on May 22nd at the State House, when we are going to show up, show off, and shout loudly, because your voice matters, your job matters, and the work that you're doing matters. If you like social media, who doesn't? You can share on social and use our hashtag. We're so creative on this. You guys ready? Hashtag Caring Force Rally. Right? If you're anything like me, rallies, R-A-L-L-Y. Sometimes I throw the E in there. Don't do that. That's a whole different hashtag. So hashtag Caring Force Rally. So I'd like to, since I've only been at VinFen for 2 months, I'd like to have somebody with a little more experience do an official welcome. So Jean Phelps. Oh, there you are. Wow. She's waiting in the wings. CEO with Encompass.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David. Hi, everybody. I'm going to steal a line from that last song from the band. You guys, you don't know you're beautiful, but you really are. And the showing this morning is amazing, and the sponsors of this morning's event are incredibly grateful that you took the time this morning to head up to Peabody and then play Jenga in the parking lot. So thank you very much, and hopefully you all get out of the parking lot without any problems. Sorry about the parking. We didn't realize that there were going to be so many of you, and that's really kind of amazing. So thank you very, very, very much. This event is actually the 4th legislative event that we have done as a collective up here in the northeast part of the state of Massachusetts. And every year our focus has been on the workforce and the needs of our community in terms of the importance of the work that we do, but also the importance of the support for the work that we do. So today, combining a legislative breakfast, please make sure you help yourself to some food, and a Caring Force rally doubles the impact of the message that we're sending this morning. So we, again, are incredibly grateful for the 200 plus, 250 some odd folks who are in attendance this morning. This is amazing. So I'm going to keep my remarks here very, very short. I just want to do one more thing. One is I want to thank Centerboard, who is our host here this morning, for this amazing space. This is great because we were able to accommodate all of you. And also, I just want to acknowledge the sponsors of this morning's event. It is a collaborative of a number of organizations, and when you put a whole group of CEOs on a Zoom together, it sometimes can go sideways. As you know, it has never gone sideways. In 4 years, we have managed to work incredibly collaboratively and cooperatively because our mission is to get a message to the masses, and that message is this workforce is resilient, is strong, and is powerful. So your hosts this morning are, as I had shared, Centerboard, the Northeast Arc, Bridgewell, yeah, clap, go ahead, clap. Bridgewell, NFI, VinFen, Plummer Youth Promise, Key Program, Wayside, JRI, Encompass, and the caring force of the Providers Council. From all of us to all of you, thank you so much for being here. This morning I think is going to be amazing and wonderful, all because you are here. David?
Thank you. So, hailing from Watertown, Massachusetts, Todd Reese is very active in the community. Todd is the chair of VinFen's Metro Boston Self-Advocacy Group and works at VinFen's Employment Training Center. He has presented to new VinFen employees and the Mass Advocates Standing Strong Conference on the topic of self-advocacy. He enjoys attending advocacy events at the State House and speaking up on issues he feels strongly about. Todd is also an active tennis player in the Special Olympics and has competed several times at the national tournament. Please welcome Todd. Come on up, Todd. Todd has his support group up here at the left. Here you go, Todd. Okay. I'll get it for you. You got it? Yeah, I'll get it. You take the mic, I'll give you a water. Lid's off for you.
Thanks. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, how's everybody doing? Yep. Hello, my name is Todd Reese, and I am a VinFen self-advocate. I have served as the co-chairperson and most recently chairperson of VinFen's Metro Boston Self-Advocacy Group. I have lived in a VinFen managed home in Watertown since 2015. It is in a good location close to downtown, or as it's called, Watertown Square. Yeah. So I know what's going on in my community. I share the residence with 4 other housemates. When I'm not there, I also attend their ETC Day program. Now, for some people that don't know what that stands for, it's actually the VinFen's Employment Training Center. I've attended there since 2014. I'm also a tennis player involved in Special Olympics. Yeah. Been playing tennis for a long time and have competed in the Mass Special Olympics state level events every year, pretty much. My role as a chairperson of VinFin's Metro Boston Self-Advocacy Group is very important to me because I like to make sure my voice is and the voice of my peers is heard. I assist in in running the meetings and make sure that we follow the agenda. Every meeting, we talk about different advocacy opportunities available in Metro Boston, including many opportunities we have to volunteer. We have volunteered in the kitchen of a homeless shelter, serving a meal to a religious organization, and picking up trash in nearby towns. It's rewarding to do something rewarding for others and spend time with my friends in the advocacy group at the same time. I have great appreciation who work in my home and at ETC. It's wonderful to have some staff who have been with VinFin for a long time. They know how to do their jobs well, and they get to know all the people they work with well. Their jobs can be challenging, so I like to go to the State House every chance I can to advocate for an increase in staff salaries. Any extra money in the state can put toward staff wages is a good investment in the people supported. When staff make enough money to pay their bills, they will be able to stay in their jobs. Having the same consistent staff is a great help to the people they support because we like to know the people who come into our house to work with us. They know the routine of the house as well as what each person likes and dislikes. They are certainly appreciated. And on that note, I'd like to thank you all for attending today, celebrating these services and the employees.
Job. Not easy to do, and Todd was first up. So let's hear it again for Todd Reese. And let us know next time you have a match, Todd, so we can come support you, okay? Next up is Geraldine Nestorowicz, or as she's affectionately called, Aunt Gigi. Geraldine is a senior program coordinator in Journeys, one of Northeast ARC's community-based day support programs. Geraldine has worked for the agency in a variety of roles, including being a residential direct support professional during the COVID-19 pandemic. She's also the mother of Sam. Sam lives with autism, who has received Northeast ARC supports. Between her son and her work, Geraldine has seen firsthand the impact of human service workers. Put your hands together for Geraldine.
Good morning. I'm really nervous. So I took Noah's advice and I wrote this down. And being Irish, I really like to talk and tell a tale, so I kept it to this. I've been with the ARC working and having the support of direct care workers for about 34 years. During my first time working at the Northeast ARC, I had my son Sam. And I could also type 100 words a minute, so I typed a lot of reports for early intervention. And I realized some of the behaviors Sammy was displaying at home were just not good. I knew something was going on. So me being me, I took myself straight down to the early intervention office and said I need a referral. I had a great pediatrician who just said yes to everything I did. And Sam was diagnosed with autism as well as the developmental disability, and that's where our journey, our 34-year journey with Direct Care has started. It took a lot for my husband and I to sort of let go and realize to raise Sam, it took an entire village. We couldn't do it alone. There's just no way. And back then, programs were just being developed, and I've always said Sammy had great timing, building blocks, building bridges. Sammy was in them all, everything I could sign him up for. Speech and language, advocacy, emergency respite, finally a respite provider, and as he got older, recreation, Special Olympics, job support, job shadowing, money, social safety skills, his day program, which is the STEP program down at the Center for Lincoln Lives, which he's there right now, which I would have brought him here to dance with the band, but he doesn't like me to mess with his schedule. Sam went from being a 5-year-old who was so violent that we needed to, for the safety of our family, try to get him out of the house because of his sister. She needed protection. But now, because of Direct Care workers who came into my home day after day, nights, weekends, and now he rides Space Mountain with her, and he's living with us. Thank you. Direct Care staff truly saved our family. When we were so strung out and broke, and tired, they supported Sam, which in turn supported us. No matter what he threw at them, and he did throw, they taught him that he was okay being Sam, and he could dance no matter where the music played, and he does, which he would have been all over this morning, the Tri-Town Band. During the pandemic, we'll bring you up to 2020, as Direct Care were supporting Sammy and my family, I left the house and went to Winona Street in Peabody, which is one of the Northeast Arcs residential programs. And I was there for a year, and that's when my respect just went up here for direct support. Working in the residence, it's not just cooking, cleaning, doing meds, all that stuff. It's going for coffee, doing activities, going to the YMCA, dances, ball games, working out, and all of that disappeared during the pandemic. So we created our own entertainment, and I fell in love with these guys. I knew that yelling at The Price is Right was Barry's favorite thing to do, especially if you won a car. We put up the Christmas tree and sang Christmas carols, which was Roger's favorite. I've learned the red Power Ranger is the only Power Ranger, according to Jamie. Cooking shows were Tommy's favorite, and reading travel brochures was Richie's favorite. And when I mean my respect grew for Direct Care staff, we all came down with COVID, except for 3 staff, and they worked for 2 weeks straight to make sure these guys stayed in the house. So today, I'm back at my day program. It's called Journeys. I work with the retirement group, and we're a community-based day program. And now today we talk. We talk a lot because my guys want their voices heard. We listen to music. We go to the Danvers Senior Center, local libraries, craft fairs, Danvers indoor sports, picnics, local farms, and whatever their imagination can come up with. So as a Direct Care worker and as the mother of someone who for his whole life will receive Direct Care, I can't say enough of the support we need through the legislature. Sammy's life is completely changed. My life is completely changed because of Direct Care. This is not something I envisioned myself doing or receiving. Because without it, my son would not be living in my home, and I wouldn't have the best job in the world. I love my job. I love my guys. And I can't thank you all enough for coming this morning. There's so much I could say. There's so much I could talk about, especially Special Olympics, after listening to our previous speaker, because I love going to it. I am that mother who jumps up and down and yells when his kid is running down the track. So thank you, and thank you for supporting direct care workers.
Let's hear it for Geraldine. And Sam in Asemptia. Next up is Rosalie Sanchez. She joined NFI Massachusetts as a youth counselor 3 years ago, and while she was serving as a certified nursing assistant for seniors. She was recently promoted to residential manager in her 12-bed emergency residence that serves DCF-involved teens. Rosalie has obvious passion for her work, having lived in a group home herself when she was younger. Her love of her work is only rivaled by her love of being a mother. Her future goals include going to college and becoming a program director. Please welcome Rosalie.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. A little nervous. My name is Rosalie. I have been employed with NFI for 3 years, currently working in one of our emergency res group homes for youth. At times like this, I always think to myself, who would have thought I would be working for a company I was once in as a youth? Who would have thought I would ever make it this far? Who would have thought I would become a residential manager? I sometimes get chuckled at when people ask what I do for work. They always hit me with the, how does it feel to be on the other side, or how do you do it? My response is, how couldn't I? It's such a great feeling being able to make an impact on youth's lives. One of the saddest but most common situations I saw as a youth was when someone I built a strong connection with leave their work, often for better pay. As a youth in care, we go from having a daily routine and seeing someone on the regular to an empty feeling. Yes, there are boundaries between us and staff, but in reality, it is the staff who make the greatest impact on our lives. Each staff spends at least 40 hours a week with the youth, often much more, because the wages are not attractive enough to fill the positions. But the programs always need to have a minimum number of staff to make sure the youth are safe. Staff going from teaching us, spending time with us, to always showing up no matter what, through the hard, the sad, the anger, seeing us at our highest and our lowest, and never making us feel judged. Some may ask, why did I choose this field after my time in group homes? You would think I'd be trying to get far, far away from it. The way I was treated with compassion and care for made me want to do it for others, to pay it forward, and hopefully inspire the other young people that might find themselves in the same boat I was once in. Till this day, I am still in contact with one of the staff who made the greatest impact in my life, and that is almost 10 years ago. She is the main reason why I do what I do today. Some youths that have come across NFI still call us to this day to give us updates about their lives and just tell us how thankful they are to have been in one of our programs. Now that I am on the other side, as someone who works in the field, I still see my coworkers needing to leave for better pay, even when they love the job that they work. One of the toughest challenges I think we as caregivers have is our low wages. Outsiders will never understand the type of work we do, and that's why I often think we go unnoticed. We are beyond essential workers. Some workers like myself really do love our jobs, but that does not mean I want to spend more of my time working just to make ends meet financially. Some weeks I think to myself, wow, this month I was at work more than I was at home with my own children. Yes, during my time in NFI, we have been slowly increasing the hourly wage, but even with the bump in pay, it's not enough to counteract the stress done by years of underfunding. It's stressful to constantly worry about our own financial stability and being able to provide for our own families while working the job we love the most. All the human service workers in this room know exactly what I am talking about. It is hard work, but it is also so satisfying to be able to change lives. We all need to advocate for livable wages so that the kids we care for can have the staff who love what they do. Stay with them for the long haul. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's hear it for Todd Geraldine and Rosalie. All right, that's the rally. Now we're going to start to ease into the legislative section of the program. It is my pleasure to introduce Senator Joan Lovely, who is in her 6th term as state senator for the 2nd Essex District, comprising of Beverly, Danvers, Peabody, and Salem. Yes, Salem. We are thrilled that this is her 4th time speaking to the Northeast Regional Rally. Yes, Senator Lovely earned degrees from Salem State University and the Massachusetts School of Law and served on Salem City Council. Now 10 years in the legislature, Senator Lovely serves as the Assistant Majority Leader and as chair of the Senate and Joint Committees on Rules. Ooh, you don't want to mess with that. Rules. Wow. It's like my 5th grade teacher. And several other leadership roles. Throughout her Senate career, she has been a steadfast champion of human services and programs that serve people with disabilities. In 2019, ADDP named her Senator of the Year. She has consistently highlighted the importance of the Turning 22 program, designed to assist individuals and families with the transition from special education to adult services. We wouldn't be anywhere without the important support from her, so come on up, Senator Lovely.
Good morning, everyone. What an absolutely amazing crowd. Now, and I have to get a picture because this view is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to put the mic down. I'm going to pick up the iPhone and grab a quick pic, if you don't mind. And I'd love to see everybody's arms way up in the air. All right. See if I can get you all in. I'm going to have to do it in 3. All right. All right, thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. It is an honor and a privilege to be here this morning to speak on behalf of my colleagues, who I would like to introduce to all of you so you know who is here from the legislature. We have Representative Jerry Paracella from Beverly. We have Representative Manny Cruz from Salem. We have Representative Dan Cahill from Lynn. And we have Chloe, who is here from Representative Kern's office, Sally Kearns from Danvers. Hannah Levine is here as well. And we have Representative Walsh's office here as, I'm sorry. Shandon, okay, I didn't get everybody. Representative Shand's office and Representative Kasner's office. Thank you for being here. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Okay, who's in the back? Hannah Maury is here from Senator Tarr's office. Thank you, Hannah. Hannah used to work in my office, too, so thank you, Hannah. And I just want to say a quick thing about staff. We stand on our staff's shoulders. They really, they support us. They really help us make the work. Hannah Levine is here from Rep. Cruz's office. Did I introduce you? Well, now twice. And so I just want to say how grateful we are to our staff, who are also here and support us every single day. Also, I want to say big shout out to the Tri-Town Rock Band. They were amazing. And of course, Breaking Grounds Cafe, who is serving us coffee and a beautiful breakfast this morning. Thank you so much. And I also want to say thank you to Center Board. So Center Board, we have, in the legislature, we have weekly Zoom meetings about our homeless individuals who are living right here in the Holiday Inn and across different hotels and motels and in a dorm at Salem State as well, but all across the Commonwealth. Center Board, I would say, though, stands out. Just an amazing organization that's so supportive, keeps us updated, and we're going to help people get into permanent housing. So thank you so much, Center Board. More shout outs. Todd. Excellent job. Good luck on the tennis court. Geraldine, there you are. Wonderful. And I'm going to share a personal story too, that as to why I really support this work. So thank you for sharing, and we're so happy that Sam is doing so well. You're welcome. And Rosalie, great job. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you for going into this work after being a part of this work that benefited you and how old are your kids? You got kids? 6 and 2. Congratulations. I'm a grandmother, so that matters. We know how difficult it's been since the pandemic, how the workforce has changed for so many industries and entities, but especially for our direct care workers, for our caring force workers, and what that looks like. I have 2 nephews I'll share with you that when I first came into the legislature, Matthew and David. Matthew is now 34 and David's 36. Matthew's in a group home. David's at home. My brother retired to care for him at home. And they're both in day programs, and they're both doing great. They're really doing really well. And it's because of all of you. It's because of all of you, the backup support, the direct support, as to why Matthew and David and Sam and all of you, Rosalie, and who has done well, and all of you, why all these individuals, our loved ones, are doing so well. Because you work hard every single day, and especially during COVID, when you were down to 3 people, because most of the staff was out with COVID, and working so hard to make sure that these individuals were cared for. And that's why we do the work we do, why I'm speaking on behalf of all of my colleagues, why this work is so important, and why we want to support you. And legislation that we're trying to pass as well, that we have passed, actually. I'm a big supporter of the Turning 22 program. We want to make sure that that families and individuals are prepared when their loved ones are graduating from high school, that there's a placement, it's the placement that they're looking for, and that they're feeling supported. I have to tell you, we get phone calls maybe a couple months before someone turns 22, and they don't know where they're going or what the supports are. But with all of you, we put that together really fast. You have all those resources, and so we're able to support our constituents. We have a bill that we filed for supported decision making. So for those individuals that are, maybe a guardianship is they don't need a guardianship, which is a pretty big deal when someone goes into a guardianship. They want to be able to control their lives and make decisions, but they need someone to trust to be able to have that happen. So we have a bill that would allow that to happen, and we're going to get that passed. We have passed that in the Senate. We're going to get it passed in the House and get it to the governor. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you for everything you do. We have your legislative priorities. Thank you for this. I already actually know it by heart, but thank you so much. I actually am meeting with the Chair of Ways and Means in a couple of weeks. It was actually supposed to happen yesterday, but we were in session until about 10 o'clock last night, passing a supplemental budget and another bill, and so I'll have my meeting with him. This is one of my top priorities when I meet with the Chair of Ways and Means. I really have to say thank you to someone who's passed on, but I get to fill his shoes, and I'll never fill his shoes. Majority Leader Senator Fred Berry, who passed away a few years back. For his 30-year career, this is what he did. And I'm so proud to follow in those footsteps and to continue to support all of you, again, with all of my colleagues. I have to tell you, we've got the best delegation across Massachusetts. We work really hard together to make these things happen. So we are addressing the workforce shortage. We are working on your budget priorities, working with the governor. The House will do their budget in April. The Senate will follow in May, and we're going to get these done. And it's because we hear from many of you. Please continue to contact us. I know Caring Force and all the providers contact us all the time, and we are so grateful. Let us know what's important to you, and you do. But continue to do it. You're not bothering us, or I always say to someone, please send me a text. Just, keep it in front of me all the time. There's a lot going on at the State House, but this is the most important work that we do. And so I'm just so very, very grateful to be here this morning to continue this great work, to work with all of you, shoulder to shoulder. We're going to get it done. So just know that our doors are open, and we are always available to you. And again, thank you for all that you do every single day.
I particularly like Senator Lovely when you're doing this. You'd be a great auctioneer. High bidder in the back. Maybe a side hustle. So we're going to hear from the other legislators. What I want everybody, though, to remember, it's not only your voice that matters, but your vote. On the table, there's a QR code. If you're not registered, please make sure that you register today, and then exercise your right to vote. And remember who is here today. Remember the Senator Loveleys. Remember the Representative Cahill. Remember the Representative Cruz. And remember the Representative Paracella. And vote. That is so important. All right, we're going to bring each one up one at a time. Rep. Paracella, why don't we start with you? Just going to ask about, first of all, you heard some amazing stories. You know what the legislative priorities are. How do you take this back to the State House and actually create the change that all of these folks want to create? And what did you think of the stories?
First of all, do I have to rip my clothes off?
No, you don't. No. We'll get your Caring Force t-shirt, though, on your way out, though.
No, thank you so much. It's great to be here. It does really matter. I mean, just for example, there are 6,000 bills that get filed every session. So for us to have all of those bills in our brains and have deep knowledge about it is impossible. So to hear from folks like you and others to get this information is really, really important to us. It's really helpful. And you have a great team that visits the State House. You have tremendous advocates. They're always supporting you, telling us what we should be doing. And so for us to hear these stories, to hear from Todd, Rosalie, Geraldine, it's really important to us. It really matters. When we get the budget, it's just this really thick document with a whole bunch of numbers in it. But what do those numbers mean? Those numbers mean the direct care workers, the staff that are working 24/7 to take care of our folks. So for us to hear from you, it's just critically important, and I really, really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Representative Cahill. And don't get too comfortable, Representative Paracella. We'll be bringing you back up in a second. But not yet. You know, we only have one microphone we're having to share. If we were at the Hilton, they have two microphones. But it's okay. It's okay. Same question, Rep. Cahill. Great stories here, but how do we turn the stories into action? And when it lands on your ears and on your desk, what do you do with it?
I was kind of hoping this was going to be Price is Right, and I was going to give you a little price tag of $11.32, Bob. Well, good morning, everybody. Dan Cahill. Get a shout out to all my friends in the city of Lynn. That's right. Really excited to be here today. I was actually a little nervous when I walked in. The band was playing "Hit Me with Your Best Shot." I thought that was aimed at us, but thankfully it wasn't. It took me a minute, but actually, what it's about is the folks in this room, right? People try to hit you with the best shot, but you don't take it sitting down. You fight. And we've had a great breakfast this morning. The energy in the room, the parking was crazy, probably because Mark DeJoy was out there doing traffic direction, and everyone who knows Mark knows that was a bad idea, but I parked very far away. But all of your organizations and all the work that you do on a daily basis, like, you have to understand, you are, all of you, your clients, the clients that are here, the workers that are here, the administrators, incredibly deeply appreciated. In the State House, we constantly are talking about our social services, our workforce, the people who do the real work. You know, Joan and Jerry and Manny and I, we're not doing the heavy lifting. I mean, we do mental lifting, but we're not doing the day-to-day, real hard work that all of you are doing. But we are grateful that you do it, and you continue to do it, despite your wages, despite the cost of housing, despite the cost of health care going up. What I am encouraged, though, about, and Dave mentioned vote, get registered to vote, the big presidential election coming up, President Biden continues to forgive student loan debt at a record rate. He just did 75,000 people who are public servicemen. If we get him reelected, I anticipate that he's going to continue to do that for other sectors. And top of the list next should be healthcare workers, should be work care providers, home care providers such as yourselves. So please remember, this is a very important election. And I rarely talk about politics, even though I'm a politician. This is a critical election for all of us. We have to make sure that the folks who are actually doing things, like President Biden actually doing it, gets back in office. So as far as the question, that perfect political answer, I don't actually answer his question. I kind of forget it, but because I already knew what I was going to want to say today. But I will tell you that we are focused on Chapter 257 funding. We're focused on transportation. We are focused on trying to get you the resources you need to continue the work you do, because it's the work you want to do, and we want you to continue doing it. And to all of the clients in the room, you know, people come to us and say, oh, we're helping people with disabilities, but really what I see today is people with capabilities, amazing capabilities. The bands and then the stories that you have, thank you for sharing that with us. We are really excited to be able to have you continue to expand your capabilities and come back every year and hear wonderful stories, and we're committed to doing so. So thank you, everyone, very much for all you do. I'll stand up here for maybe a couple more questions, but I want to turn it over to Dave. And I just want to say again, and thank you very much for, well, Dave will be at the Golden Banana later on, or as he likes to say, the PBD Ballet.
Not bad for almost 61. Thank you very much. Representative Cruz, come on up. You've heard some great stories today. When you go back to the State House, go back to Beacon Hill, it's a different vibe than in here. How do you take the energy that's here back to your colleagues and tell them the stories that you're hearing today? Again, let's hear it for Representative Cruz.
Thank you so much. Good morning. I love the call and response. That's the educator in me. I am so grateful to be here today, to be in this room and to hear the stories of our direct care workers and to see so many friends and organizations that I hold near and dear to my heart. So your question on the how is, I think, a really important piece. I'm deeply rooted in my community, and so are my colleagues. When I think about our delegation, we love to see the work. Before I was in the legislature, I was a legislative aide. I worked in advocacy, but I was also on the school committee. And I see our children, the ones that have the most need, the most vulnerable, those who experience homelessness, that are living with disabilities, and that have capabilities. Well done, Dan. And then also those that are dealing with the foster care system. And one of the organizations that's here today, near and dear to my heart, I was a Boys and Girls Club kid, and I had the dear pleasure of having so many young people in our community that came from different backgrounds. But there was one organization that I always held so close to my heart, and that was Plummer Youth Promise. And that was because at Plummer, I met so many incredible young people that had a different experience, but almost similar to my own. I had a really tough upbringing with my family, and I always felt like I was just one day away from ending up in care of the state. And that never happened, fortunately for me, but it did for my peers. But the students that ended up at Plummer got the supports that they needed, and they were thriving. And one day I got asked by a friend of mine, my predecessor on the school committee, if I would serve on the board of Plummer Youth Promise. And I said yes. And when I spoke with the executive director, Nicole McLaughlin, and she told me about the vision, the mission, what had changed since I was a young person, and the direct care work that was happening with social workers to do a new model called permanency work, I was so amazed. This reconnection with family, with stability and safety. And when I think about what that means for our young people, that idea that our direct care social workers are finding a way to restore the dignity of young people who are in a system that's fundamentally broken, that's what fills my cup about the work that you all do. And when I talked to Nicole as a board member, one of the things that we always talked about was staff retention. Staff retention in human services is incredibly difficult, and it is because you are at the whims of what is in our budgets. And I believe that budgets are a reflection of our values. So on my part, the how is, I think about the stories, and I raise them to my colleagues. I tell them about my experiences, and I share with them the good work that I'm seeing. Before I was sworn in as a state representative, the first tour that I did was of Aspire Developmental Services. I went to go see Aspire's early intervention work because I know the impact that early intervention has for so many of our families. And I'm a dad of two incredible children, and I know that if I needed those services, that I would want that staff to be well compensated and retained, because I know how important those relationships are. So when I think about the how, I also want to uplift the individual stories that I hear from the young people that are experiencing the different systems. Just this past week, we welcomed Youth Build to the State House for a legislative briefing, and one of the young people had the courage at the end of the roundtable that we were having to share her personal story with me. And she wanted this story to be heard. But she was telling me about the fact that she was in foster care, experiencing homelessness, and she wanted to know what I would do as a legislator to ensure that other young people would have access to the type of care workers that do the great work that's happening at Plummer that could restore her connection to family. And I told her, my commitment to you is I'm going to tell your story to the people that make the decisions, and I'm going to advocate. So that's the role that I know that I play. I do that alongside my colleagues. And Senator Lovely, you're so right. We have the best delegation on the North Shore. We're going to raise up these priorities in both the budget and the bills that you've brought before us. And I need you all to understand, even if you think we're in support of something, we do need to hear from you, because that re-energizes us to continue to do the work, and it gives us, I think, the great passion that we need to carry it forward. So thank you for having me. Looking forward to more questions.
All right. So I'll just come to you. Oh, Representative Tom Walsh. How are you? Awesome. Do you want to come on up, say a few words? I have a microphone. You have a voice. Representative Walsh, please put your hands together. We're talking about Health and Human Services. How are you? David Brown. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Good morning, everybody. Perfect timing, I guess. Whatever they said. No, I just.
Money for Health and Human Services. That's what they said.
Yeah. We'll do our best. I think that's probably what they said. I don't know what has been discussed. I apologize for being late. I did have a commitment this morning, and I just realized how difficult it is to get from Endicott College to this Holiday Inn. There's no very quick way. So, but I just want to take a second to thank all of you for the work that you do day in and day out. We have a tremendous appreciation for what you do, and we understand how difficult it is, and in many cases how rewarding it is. So probably, I'm assuming that budget has been discussed, but we will do our very best to try to make things as easy for you as we can. But you have to understand, I'm sure, that this year's revenues are not what they have been the last few years. We're growing, but not at the rate that we had hoped or had predicted. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult when we make our decisions. But by having events like this, it helps us when we make our determinations, and we will have you in mind as the deliberations continue. So with that, I thank you for having me. I apologize again for being late, and look forward to talking with some people. Thanks. Thank you.
All right, Representative Walsh. So quick question, Rep. Paracelli. Did anything surprise you today about what you heard? The people in the room, who have you been talking to? Anything that kind of stands out, or what surprised you about this morning?
Can't believe the band members were so pumped up at 8 in the morning. Like, trying to get my daughter out of bed is not easy. No, I mean, it's great to, I'm just psyched with the energy and enthusiasm of all the folks here, and it really matters to you about what we're trying to do with the legislature and then your direct care to folks. Todd, I just got a question. So I'm getting older, so I went from tennis to pickleball. Is that all right? Too fun. So I'm pretty lame playing pickleball, is what you're saying. All right. So pickleball. It's kind of like half of. It's almost like between like ping pong and tennis. It's like half of. You only got to go half the court. So I'm kind of lame. I'm not running around like Todd, you know. But right. But just on one of the bills. I mean, I think it's an awesome idea about the student loan repayment. There's been a shortage of licensed social workers in the Commonwealth and trying to get people to get into that field. So we did create a student loan repayment for social workers. So I think it's a great idea to do that for direct care workers. Thank you.
Representative Cahill, the tallest among the delegation. That's true. Yeah, exactly. What surprised you about this morning?
Well, I was surprised by the looks on the faces of all the direct care workers, because I could tell listening to us was going to be the least exciting part of their day. And I think I'm jealous of you that you're all going to go on to do fun things today and work with your clients and enjoy their energy, their excitement. This is the highlight of my morning, I can tell you that. It's all downhill from here. But again, it's the dedication of the workers. I mean, it's just amazing.
Just want to say, Senator Tarr has come on in. You can't hide in the background. Anything you'd like to say to the group, Senator Tarr?
Thank you very much. Good morning. It's always great to walk into a room and be handed a microphone, and you never know what's going to happen next. And it's even better when your colleagues all have their cell phones out to capture whatever you say. So it's already been a very exciting day for me already, and I want to thank you all for that experience. But what I really want to thank you for is the experience that you provide each and every day for the people in our Commonwealth, that you reach out and work to help. And it's not just a job. I know that. It's more than that. It's about giving part of yourself to what you do and making sure that we have a caring, committed workforce for a lot of folks that are vulnerable in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And like my colleagues, I know that that's not an easy job. And I know that there's not always a lot of glamour in it, and I know there's certainly not a lot of profit in it. But what I do know is there has to be a lot of satisfaction in it, from knowing that you gave your best to someone to make their day a little bit easier, a little bit better, a little bit more productive, a little bit safer, and they breathe a little easier, as the Robert Louis Stevenson poem says, a little bit easier because you were part of it. So I primarily want to listen to your concerns and how we can work together. It's amazing to see all these yellow shirts out there. I think it's great. I don't know if they're being sold in the lobby. I didn't get a chance to buy one. But I just want to say, number one, thank you. It's incredible to see all of you here taking some time out of your day to share your thoughts with us. And number two, I look forward, as always, to understanding how we can work together in order to accomplish what I think is a mission for all of us collectively, which is making the Commonwealth a better and a stronger place for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody that just walks in and quotes Stevenson poem is gifted. Thank you so. You gonna walk on over? Grab a muffin. Grab a shirt. We got everything for you. To you, Rep. Cruz. Obviously, your lived experience is powerful. You bring a unique perspective, representing a dynamic community. When you wander the halls of the State House and people ask you, what are your priorities? What matters to you? How can folks get on your agenda? What do you tell them?
Well, I certainly tell them to reach out. I mean, this is the most important thing, is that two-way relationship between legislators, their constituencies, and community. Our Commonwealth is supposed to be for the good of all. And I can't do the work that I do every single day as a state representative without our community and advocates who engage with my office. And I think Chairman Paracello, you highlighted it very well. 6,000 bills get filed every single year. In the budget, there's almost relatively no bad asks, if you will. Folks come to us with so much information, but it is truly when you come to us with evidence, with reports, with your requests, and your stories, that's how we can really learn about the new issues that we want to take on. And I came in to the legislature already having worked for a state representative, but it doesn't mean that I know every single issue that's out there. And I will say that if there was anything that I learned today that I wasn't aware of before, it would be on section, I think it was the ARC posted here, number 3. It says, oppose MassHealth PCA proposed eligibility change, requiring 10 hours weekly of ADL support and restore necessary meal prep time. This is something I hadn't heard of, had not been raised to me. My mom is a PCA, and I know the great work that she does to support our family through that work. And I have to say, something like this mealtime prep, I can imagine that that's probably one of the most important things that a PCA might be doing for their clients. And this eligibility requirement, I'd want to learn more about why MassHealth is proposing this particular rule and what we can do to address the challenge. So if anyone has any more information about that, I'm learning about it today, a year into my first term of service. So I'd love to hear from folks, either reaching out directly from my office, grab me after the event, educate me a bit, because that's what advocacy is. It is about education and ensuring that our elected leaders have an understanding of what you're seeing on the ground and how sometimes proposed either policy or regulations impact the great work that you're doing in our communities.
And we are almost wrapping up, but I'd like Senator Lovely to have the final word. When you hear from constituents, what speaks to you? You mentioned that you want them to text you, but how do you like to hear from constituents, and what moves you?
Thank you. First, I just want to follow up with Rep. Cruz here on the PCA hours. So what's the proposed change is if you require less than 10 hours, you're going to get 0 hours. None. It's penny wise and pound foolish, and we will fight that and make sure that that does not happen. So thank you, Rep. Cruz, for raising that. What motive? I will tell you, personal stories is what matters so much, most to us as legislators. When you come in to our offices, or we might see you here at a rally, or we might see you in the State House, or maybe run into you at CVS, and you have an issue, you have something that's impacting you personally, and it's usually not positive, you need some help. Those personal stories matter deeply to us. We want to hear how our laws, our regulations help you, or maybe how they don't help you, and how we can change them to make sure that everyone is benefiting. That's what government is supposed to do, and that's why we work so hard in government to make that happen. Government is supposed to work for you, be accessible to you, and that's why, as a delegation, Senator Tarr, I spoke earlier and said that we've got the best delegation in any part of the state. I know I'm biased, but we work really hard together. We are bipartisan and we are bicameral. Bicameral meaning House and Senate work together, bipartisan meaning all parties work together. We are very intentional about that because this is about you, it's not about us. We want to make sure that we go to work every single day. So please, share your stories. We all have stories. We all have these personal journeys that called our lives, and sometimes we need help along the way. I know I have, and I have had people there to support me for some troubles that I have had along the way in my life. And so I feel supported, or know where to try to find that support. We're here to support you. We're your support system, so please reach out and tell us how we can help. Thank you.
So a couple of housekeeping items. Again, register to vote. Vote. We're going to see all of you at the State House on May the 22nd. They are not going to forget what happens at the State House on May 22nd because all of you, along with hundreds of others, will be telling your stories, raising your voice, and making a difference.